Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're playing the game Meet Your Maker, and I'm going to show you how successful a loop base can be. I'm going to hit F here, go into the loop base that I have been doing, and I'm going to hit Raid. I've done this base over and over and over again. The key with a loop base is you want to try to do this as fast as possible. That's where the magic happens. And you'll find these bases throughout your time going through the wasteland. And what you want to do is run the seam, the bomb ejector seam that's on the floor, and then just run to the safe area. Most of the builders will mark it. There it is for bounce back. And then you just go in here and clean it up. Now this time around, my RNG is not so good. Sometimes it doesn't get all the traps, the bomb ejectors. If even cutting the seam correctly, it doesn't get it. So this time around, I got a bunch of parts and didn't get much of the yellow tokens. But let's go into the cube here because it's going to tell us what we got every death. So we only got 25 that time. Now that's actually unheard of. That's really light. I normally do a lot better than that. So let's just run it again. And all the rewards just add up. They just continuously add up. And it all comes down to how fast you run this and how they've set the base up, the traps, how they set the traps up so that you don't have to deal with having to shoot anybody in here. And I guess this would work better if the building was on an angle and maybe they all fell to the bottom. But I think some people have troubles with angles and it wouldn't be fun for them. All right, so we're up to 130 with just 2 runs. We're gonna go into the third run here. So yeah, if I made one that was at an angle or hill, I think that would be distracting to folks. I think just running a straight line and just running to clean it up. I mean, yes, that's the hardest part in the time crunch here is is cleaning up the items, and you'll get good at it if you do the same one over and over again. You'll know how to walk the room, and that's all of them. That was what, the third? Yeah, that was the third. We'll be going into the fourth. So at 185. So this run, has not been that successful. I will say this is on the lighter side of the yellow tokens. But then again, I mean, what kind of easy mode is this? I mean, some people have been telling me, no, Tarkus, go for the tombs. Go and get random bases and just do tomb runs. Because the tombs now will give you 300 to 400 per run. And it's like, well, the problem with tomb runs is you never know what you're going to be dealing with. Because you're not guaranteed, even if you enter a base, you're not guaranteed the tombs because you don't know if the person has blocked them, where they hid them, if they're in a base. So if it takes you 15 minutes to go through a base to get them, this is going to be going into my 5th death. And that's when we'll stop. And so you don't know. I mean, when you go for tomb runs, it's hit and miss. I mean, and then you look at the time management of that. How long did it take you to go from one outpost to another before you found a place that gave you the 3 tombs? It could be 15 minutes. So that means every 15 minutes you might be making, let's say, 400 yellow tokens. Now, we've only been in here for 5 deaths, and I've been just talking while I've been running through this thing. And we're going to see what the total is. I didn't see that one there. That's fine. So out of 5 deaths, we got 280. That's it. And then what I would do here is I would hit escape, and I want to abandon the raid, because after 5 deaths, you want to hit yes here. After 5 deaths, you start getting diminishing returns. Now, with those numbers, those were on the light side. I normally get from average around 400 of the yellow tokens when running this base. Now, depending on how the base is built, now we're going to go into my loop base just to take a look at it. It's right here. I've had nobody the 2 people that have been, actually 4 people that did this base didn't understand what they had in front of them. They just they did it, they ran it, and then they went up and ended the raid. They got the Genmat and ended. They didn't continue to run a loop. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you missed an opportunity. Now, this is my base, my updated base, and I've put some warmongers facing in the other direction, because I think they give some really high yellow tokens when you kill them. And then I used a lot of bomb ejectors here, because I know they give you a lot of yellow tokens. And I used the flame. I used the high-end traps on most of this. Now, I'm going to play around and watching if I can get somebody to actually do the base the way they're supposed to, maybe 4 or 5 times, then I can look to see how well these warmongers drop items, because I can just add warmongers facing in the other direction as people run this. Now, with mine, I put the seam right in the center. See the seams in the center? So I'm getting more bang for my buck. So when you run this, and we'll run it, we're going to run it right down that seam. All right, so we're just going to, so that's the middle seam. And we're just going to run it right down the middle seam. Like unzipping. And then we just run to where the safe spot is. And done and done. Now, 90% of the time, I get everything. So people don't have to worry about not getting stuff that's going to kill them when they're cleaning. The way I've designed this is you get full destruction, full clean out, and you really just run, clean it out. And at this end, you can kill yourself if that's what you want, or you can do it on the other end where I've got a cube. I just felt that that's a problem with the one I've been running, is they should have a cube on both sides to make it easier to save some time. Because I could clean this all out and then run here, die, and then start it over. But this is my loop base, and it's been doing well. For those people that did it, they cleaned it up. They understood they were been given a gift. And they cleaned the tombs, and they knew, and they gave me thumbs up. But they didn't realize what the gift really was. It is like going through it a few times and getting 400 or 500 yellow tokens, up to 5 deaths, and then moving on. It's like a free 500 tokens. And then if you're coming in for the first time for the tombs, you're looking at almost 1,000 yellow tokens, possibly, for a 5-death run with this base. All right. Well, thank you for joining me. And this has been the Tarkus Zone.